Hey guys, good evening everyone. This is Miss JD. Welcome to our daily stock market insights. Today is November 9th, 2020, and looks like we have once again another action-packed day here in the Philippine market. And as we speak right now, the US market is also rallying aggressively to the upside because of the most recent news on the vaccine. And if you have not watched the news as of yet, Pfizer announced that they're already on their third phase of the trial or the testing, and they see a 90% effectiveness rating on these testing. So looks like we are fast approaching um, the solution to this pandemic. And the sooner we can get that, of course, how does it impact us as investors and traders? Definitely, this is a good news for all of us because all the positions that we currently have will potentially um, show some signs of recovery. And for those people who may have bought or bought the shares and had a position at the very bottom, just hanging there, we will most likely be the next people, or our market will be the next market who will soon see the same path. Looks like right away as you speak right now, I am so bullish and positive as to how the market will perform by tomorrow. So let's see, let's watch and see how it goes. But definitely, as I promise you guys every single day, we are going to review the stocks that you have. Uh, we are still very dependent on how these technicals are set up at the moment, and we'll base our analysis right there just to strike a balance between fundamentals, the news, and of course our technicals. Okay, before I get started, if this is your first time to watch our video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bells are always updated whenever we have or I have a new video. At the same time, I have two announcements. We are now in Patreon, so if you would like to show your support to this channel, and if you'd like to be part of our small community, I will put the link to my Patreon account, and let me know if you're okay with the offerings there. And definitely, I'm looking forward to see and meet all of you guys. We will be creating a group chat and a group for our Patreon members, and some other stuff that I have also mentioned there. So just go ahead and click the link down below so you will also be able to see if it sounds right or it looks right. Okay. Second, if you are considering to invest in the US market, especially because right now they are really looking so bullish, and a lot of promising setups. Reversals are happening left and right. I was so surprised to see my account today really soaring. My positions are, most of my positions are already soaring high of what of because of what the news we have because of the news that we have today. Okay, so those are the two announcements. I put the link to my eToro link and to the Patreon account. Okay, so let us get started. Let's see how the index performed today. Okay, so well, technically, based on what I am seeing here, hold on a minute. Based on what I am seeing here, currently we are in our index, we are already at the resistance level. And normally, when the stock is at a resistance area, or the index is at the resistance area, we might experience some signs of struggle there, or decline in momentum. Let's see if it is currently at that position. So one thing I can say here is that technical wise, this is already a resistance area. Your RSI is also showing some decline there. However, with the news that we have today, there could be also a possibility that we could be breaking out of that resistance. Okay, because in some occasions, and it has happened so many times, the resistance can also be broken, and that's a key element of a stock. Or yeah, for instance, this one, the index is now in an uptrend. When it breaks that resistance and it creates a higher high. Okay, in the meantime, I'm just plotting it there just in case you see the index moving downward um, by tomorrow, and let's say in the first 30 minutes you see most of the sentiment going down, then definitely looks like at that point in time the index is respecting the resistance area that we have plotted. And so if that happens, the area of drop could be around the 6,500 level, which used to be your resistance before. Okay, so two things. In the event you see it breaking out of the 6685, then you have a breakout later, and we will most likely experience a higher high. This is your first high over here, and then it goes much higher than that, then uh, that's a confirmed uptrend. Okay, but let's see how our stocks look like. And I just want to also mention this because I promised Carlo. Carlo is my first Patreon member, so thank you very much, Carlo, for trusting Miss JD. And as I promised you, I will include your request in all of our sessions for today. I mean, in the coming days as well. Just let me know which stock you'd like me to include. Definitely, I will prioritize you. I will always put your stock at the very first of our list. So after index, I'll go ahead and check now for you. Okay. I will just not disclose the entry level or the entry price of Carlo, but as I shared to you offline, I said that your position is really very promising at this point. Even though we had a red day today, it is just a normal behavior of the stock, because at this point, as we go near the MA20, I know you mentioned earlier that there's an EMA 13, if I'm not mistaken. This is the area, but I only use the MA20. But sometimes I would also mention that it doesn't have to touch the MA20 line. But the point is, as we go near that level, chances are it will respect that, given that we are moving below the MA20 line. The MA20 then becomes your resistance. Let's take this as an example. Look at this one over here. It did not touch fully the MA20 line, but we already know that this is it when this green candlestick already engulfed this red. So that's already a sign that we're reversing. At the same time, several days, this is the first hint over here, and then second and then third. So that was a third time it touched that level. That's why we've considered that as a support level. Now, in this scenario, the condition here is that we are looking into, if in case it'll find its stabilization point, I'm looking at the 4 peso level as its area, 4.02, 4 peso. That is the support that I see at the moment. The reason why I said that is because I see this first stop, second, and third. So if in case it'll drop, I will not be surprised if there will be some sideways movement here, because it has not fully touched the 4 peso area yet. So possibility here is you have some sideways over here, and there could the next possible move could be, of course, moving up. Now we're not super perfect, so just find your threshold, like up to which level. When it goes lower than 4.02, at what point are you willing to hold before you exit? Make sure that, of course, if you're willing to go the maximum, meaning X% below your entry point. Up to which level are you willing to take as a form of a risk? Like, what's your risk to reward ratio? For instance, just an example. I know this is not your entry level. Just in, for example, you entered at the 4 peso level, and then when it goes beyond or lower than the 4 pesos, up to which point are you willing to take as a possible loss? How much of the size that you currently have you are willing to let go and consider as a goodbye amount, right? Otherwise, if you're only willing to risk up to that point, then cut early. Do not cut when it's really way, way down there. Okay? But looking at the volume, I also shared this to you. I was observing the volume today. The volume of the decline is much lower, so that could also mean that people already are still holding on to their position, and they're waiting for some more recoveries at this point, because it's just normal. You know why? This has already been climbing, right? People have already been profitable, and they are taking profit. That's why we have sellers dominating. And at one point, and as we go down, notice the cloud that you have here, volume is also starting to decline. So that means as we go down further and the volume is low, that means people are already holding on to their position. Okay, 4.02 is the area I'm looking at as our support. The next stock is based on the most trending ones. Wow, my Dito has declined. Very the pattern of the movement for the telco companies. Now and Dito, for instance, are looking similar. They look the same almost, right? So pretty much the same as what we have here. I think the if this stock will drop, I think it'll most likely drop around the 530, 531 level if it will drop further downwards. And also, I share this. Look at that, by the way. See this? The volume when it increased, very significant. But in today's performance, although it is red, look at the volume of the people exiting their position. It's just 1/3 of the size that we had the previous day. So people are still there. People are holding on to their position. However, there will be some more declines. What we want to see is a volume that is declining, similar to what we see here as a pattern, right? When it declined, the volume is starting to also diminish, and then you have that bounce. So that's what we are anticipating as we go down further. Hopefully it stops around the 531. Volume is also starting to decline, and for medium, I'm saying it's an area of possible bounce because you have 1, 2. Of course, this one also touched the area. This one too. So these are key levels. Each time that area is hit, there's a corresponding reaction. It's either a bounce or a rejection. So that is a key level to closely monitor in the coming days. Personally, because I've been sharing this with you, I have a position here, and I think 531 is a good level. The other day when this thing happened, I was in a position to enter at 510. But in case it goes down further to 531, I think that's a good haggle for me, given that I'm into mid to long term for Dito. Exciting days ahead. BPI is also giving us some signs of weakness at this point, and if it declines, let us say it'll break, going back to what I said earlier, that the index is somehow coherent or supporting whatever we're seeing in the individual stocks that comprise the index. So right here, it's also a resistance level or there's a sign of weakness that's happening. But just in the event we are going to support whatever is happening in the US market, for all we know, it will bounce and it will break the resistance area, then chances are these stocks can also recover. But using the technicals, okay, given that we are faced with this kind of setup in the technicals, um, I'd say there could be some more declines. And if in case it drops, chances are it will revisit your 74.83. That's the nearest area of drop at this point. Next is Mary Mart. Mary Mart had a foreign buying today. I think this is a breakout for Mary Mart, right? Breakout happened around the 383 level, 384, and this is a solid jump over here. So we might be able to see some more push going up, given that we had some foreign buying over here. And the nearest resistance that we have to take note of course, is this peak that we had here. Wow. But at least, when this stock climbed so much and then it dropped, it only took several months and then it recovered for those people who may have entered right here, who got victimized by the FOMO, fear of missing out. At least they are very close to their entry level, and probably if they want to just do break even, 452 could be it, or for those people who are okay with uh, this level, at least they were able to manage their loss. But it took them almost half a year for this to happen. So, two things here. Some people will right away say that cut your loss. And I agree with that, provided you're able to do that at a very early stage of the drop. But if you fail to do that, and the risk is already more than 15% or 20%, and you know for a fact that you cannot emotionally take that for a loss, I'd say hold on to it. That's the price you have to pay. We have to wait because we were not able to look after our stock. But we all know that it's a cycle. At one point, it'll go down, and it's just a matter of time for you to wait for it to bounce again. What's important is, so that you don't feel um, too affected when it drops. Always make sure that your reason for entering in the stock is the good fundamentals. You have a solid conviction why you're entering into a stock, right? So that either way, when it goes up or down, then when it goes down, we just add some more. Okay? Then it brings your cost average at a lower level at that point. But you're not too scared, you're not too affected because you know that there are bigger plans, there are promising initiatives that this company will be launching in the future, right? So let us say you entered at this point for Mary Mart, and you're solidly convinced that this is a stock that will go up. So when it dropped, this could have been your opportunity to enter and add more volume. Then definitely your cost average could have already been halfway and you're now profitable, right? And there are so many techniques. You can even enter right here when it dropped, and then when it goes up, you only exit the position in the amount where you entered at a lower level. So if you entered 1,000 shares here, and when you feel you're already happy with that gain, then you exit just the 1,000 shares because that's the amount where you bought it at a cheaper level. The remaining, the remaining shares that you have, even though you see that showing green already, don't exit it because you know for a fact that you entered in the first set at this level. So just let it stay there being green, but psychologically you know that you're not profitable yet, right? At least it doesn't really hurt your eye when you see your portfolio being so red, right? Hope that makes sense. CNVRG, Converge, see this? This is a sign of, when a doji comes out very near a resistance, that could act as a possible sign of weakness or change in direction. And we had a red today. Now, just in case, this could be it or this could be it, but I feel like this is a much stronger support here. 1, 2, 3, or even here 4. This used to be a resistance, so it might revisit that level before it takes off again. Okay, we're just stabilizing. We don't have the RSI yet, so just I'm just basing my analysis on the candlesticks that we have based on the available data. See, what about a 15-minute chart? I hope I see it. Oh, it's not moving. Oh no, it's not moving. Okay. So on a 15-minute chart, we're not really on the safe side yet. So just hang in there. It could potentially drop. You see this from a constricted Bollinger Band on a 15-minute chart. Then you had some declines. We'll observe by tomorrow. Hopefully this is something good that we're seeing here. But watch out for 1452. Okay. Pure gold. Pure gold. I'm going to go back to the daily chart. Okay. Wow. On the short term, it is attempting to break that support. You already did a double bottom and it even tried to break that. Although your RSI is showing some upward movement over here. Right? But just in case we have one solid candlestick below the 41 level, then that's a confirmation that we broke. We had a breakdown in the support area. Yeah, that's right. This is your resistance previously. Okay, and now it established a support at that level. So be very, very careful by tomorrow. If we have another red forming, then it could continue to decline. We were banking on this doing a double bottom, but look what happened. It created a lower high. Okay, and if it continues to drop, it could create a lower low. That means downtrend is not done yet. So if it drops, let me see. Maybe it could do something like this. Oh no, that's gonna be deep. Probably around 39.62 or 39.90 if it continues to break, because you had some consolidation right here and it could drop at that level. Okay, BDO. This one I had a good position here, and I'm really looking forward to this stock to show its reversal. My average here is in the 92 level. So we're starting to move higher than the MA20 line. So that is a good sign. And if we will react in the same manner, or we will have, let's say, we are going to have a positive reaction to what is happening in the US market right now, this could already mean that this stock will slowly show some signs of recovery. But position wise, no hyping, okay, but I'm just saying, stating all the facts here. I see an MA20 and we're just slightly higher than the MA20 line. So for position traders, this is still a good setup. Look at the volume. Look at this. The average volume here is really low, right? And then we're starting to show a an increase in the volume in the past how many days, since October 20th. Do you see that? Significantly higher than the previous weeks over here while the price was consolidating. We're not that far yet, but the volume, it has already spiked up. And in terms of RSI, we are already in the 50s level. That means momentum is present. Okay, so just in the event fluctuations happen in the price anywhere from 90 to 92.65, or if you want to enter right now, that's already a good stop or good entry level. This one over here also has started to climb, and hopefully you guys were able to enter at a good level here. Um, I I know I shared this before before the ECQ. I was in the 219 to 20 level, if I'm not mistaken, around the 200 level before the quarantine. And I did not exit my position because I am again very solid for JFC. What I did is when it dropped into the 130s level, I was not able to catch this one here. I waited for it to show some recovery and stabilization. That's why I had entries around the 130 level, and now it's recovering. So I did not take profit yet, but I still see a lot of opportunities for this stock to climb up some more because we're still very far from the peak, and with the market starting to open and this company also still, despite the pandemic, new stores are opening in the overseas. Last info I got is in the Italy area where they opened another branch. So overall, okay, if it, let the traders take profit because if they have entered at a low level and they're happy with their profit, it's just normal. Fluctuations can happen. And at this point, looking at where we are right now, it's 185.16. That's the nearest drop I am looking at. And the reason why I'm doing that, or why I plotted it there, is if you look to the left, the nearest drop, I cannot use this because I know that if I look further to the left, I see this. Okay, that's the nearest area of support. We also had a support right here, which became a resistance over here. So that's higher than this point. So before it even reaches this level, it has to respect this one first. So in the event it fluctuates, then this could be a good area to probably add more volume because we are still respecting the uptrend channel for this stock. Okay, volume is still present, plus there's a dividend release today, so that could also influence that. We are on the overbought, but given the situation right now, all the news and fundamentals, we're seeing some signs of recovery. The recovery is not done yet, so there's still room for growth there. Okay, when it fluctuates, 185 is a good entry to try out. What about ACEN? Wow, ACEN broke out of this resistance. There could be. Is this the all-time high? It is 52-week high. Wow. Promising. It could even push the price higher, even higher. But be extra careful because the volume is also starting to decline. But definitely, it will most likely find its new resistance area. And one thing to note there is when your candlestick becomes smaller and smaller, then that could also mean. But this is a different case. This stabilized, it consolidated, it did a higher consolidation. I don't know how they call that, but it consolidated right at the resistance area. That means at that point, the bears and the bulls are fighting. Even though there's a resistance, some of them are selling, but because it's the power of the bulls are really so dominant at that point, then it broke the ceiling. Okay, I'm comparing it to a roof. A roof is, the bulls are trying to break the roof, and some are giving up, but we have so many bulls at that point that it breaks the roof. That's why you have a breakout day, and when it consolidated, that's why it took them several days to break that roof that we have. And this could mean another scenario here. So it took them 2 days to stabilize. Undecided people took profit, and today it managed to break that. So I feel like we could have some more push in the price higher, but just take note of the size. The size here is way higher than the size of the previous 2 days. So if it drops, 392 is what I'm looking at, but maybe what you can do is at this point, I'm in the weekly chart by the way, so I'm going to go back to the daily. So this is a momentum play. If it drops, then maybe 392, but you have to use a faster time frame because any moment people can take profit. Look at your RSI on a daily chart. It's declining. But what's interesting here is the volume. So try out 392 if you still want to try it out. But I have a bias. I'm a position trader. I am too scared to trade that, especially because I cannot watch the market, right? Okay, let's check out Dell. Well, on a daily chart, look at that Dell. We were on a heavy sell-off in the past 4 years, 5 years, and this is just starting to recover. So if you're a big fan of the company, this is just starting to reverse its direction if you're a long-term investor. So now, just in case the market gives you a chance, this is a much better entry level, 1,363. Because in the short term, this used to be your resistance, which became a support over here. So 1,360 is a much better level, which is very close to where it is at right now. So people might just continue to take profit, but definitely this stock has already rested and it's starting to recover. Good thing when it dropped, it didn't go big drop like this one. I don't think it will go back to this level. This was the peak of our ECQ. You know what's interesting is during the entire ECQ season, or quarantine season, this stock has climbed while the rest are suffering. This stock has a very good set of revenue. There you have it, 96%. And people are just taking profit, and it looks like this will now create some higher highs in the coming days. So 1,360. Ali also is very near our short-term resistance. This is where it is, and if it drops, most likely it won't go so deep anymore because very near here is your resistance, resistance here. So when it goes down, that can most likely be our support already. It might drop up to this level. Resistance over here, resistance there, I mean here. So this is a sign of weakness for me. So catch Ali if the market gives you a chance around the 33.58. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. I was able to cover now and of course these stocks, the highly traded stocks. I'm really excited as to how these stocks are going to perform tomorrow with the US market being so bullish with some great news about the vaccine. Another interesting thing, I was monitoring because that news came from Pfizer. And earlier today, when the stock price was over here, I posted it. I had a post earlier around what time was this? I had a screenshot of this stock while it was up to this level only. And I said, Pfizer pump and dump move for today. However, I'm seeing a possible bounce happening at the moment, and the price during my post was only up to here. And it has already increased as we speak. This is live. It has already increased by, well, around 2.27%. So for those people who are still interested in getting in, I think what is how do I move this? That's a 5 minute chart. Okay, so it just tried to fill that gap, and now most likely it'll continue to recover and ascend. I can't remember when I created this line though. When I opened it, I already had it up. So probably I was also monitoring this stock previously. November 5. So one thing I like about US stocks is the regular payout of the dividend. Almost all the stocks, every 3 months you have a solid income from them. So if you're a long-term investor, this is something that you can also check out. This one I have a position, OKE. The reason why I entered this stock is, look at this, 0.94, 0.94, and we're currently sitting at the 29.90 level. And if you're not really into actively trading this stock, just let it stay there. That's a solid approximately 10% gain every year. And if you're able to position really early at this point, for instance, uh, and if you'll just aim for this level, probably if it'll hit that level around the 48, that should already give you a capital gain of what? I was already plotting it. 63%. Look at this. So if you are going to wait until it goes back, because this was the drop back in February, right? When it dropped over here from Feb down to March over here. So before the pandemic, this was the price range. And this is really way, uh, how much of a discount were we able to get at this point? 100% or almost 100%. And if it accelerates and ascends in price, imagine this. I can hold on to this position for a long time. With just the dividend, I'm already good. There are a lot more actually. Um, T-Mobile is also another stock that's also at a very discounted level, and this gives out a solid 0.52% in dividend every quarter, and we're at a very low level. And if we continue to climb up, look at this. Just for today, we have a gap up, and that's an increase by 3.68. And I think the recovery is just starting to happen. Okay, so those are just the examples that I am sharing to you guys. You can choose the stocks. Make sure you study the fundamentals of these stocks because we're not physically present in the US. So the farthest we can go is read onto the news. And eToro as well has very good insights in their platform. You can check out, probably you don't even have to deposit first, right? Try to play around with the virtual side, and when you're comfortable tinkering with all the features, that's the time you can deposit. But so far I've been with eToro for more than 1 year now, and no no complaints. Okay, they don't charge you with any fee if you don't use leverage. Excuse me. In the Philippine market, all our trades are being charged, and we don't even use leverage. Here, When I say leverage, you're not borrowing money for your trades, because a leverage could be times one, times two, times 10, right? So that's a double-edged sword. All my trades in eToro, they're all times one. So I don't really mind if I stay in a stock for quite some time. Another thing to take note of, if you use leverage, every night that you hold on to your position, there's a small charge that they also give or get from you. So probably just my pointers. If you're just starting out, don't use leverage first. At least you can sleep peacefully at night, uh, and not being charged and not be charged with some fees. Okay. So if you want to try out eToro, I have my link down at the description. Okay. And if you also would like to join my Patreon account, so we have a more personalized interaction, I'm inviting you to also be part of my Patreon account. Okay? Just check out the link. I'll put the link in the description box. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video, and good night. Bye bye.